One of the great privileges in owning a nice car is the ability to show it off to people. There's no greater feeling than driving past a bus stop full of girls with the windows down, the music up, just showing them how amazing your car is and how rich, successful, and handsome you are. Sadly, you can't do that in a Honda Civic Type R. It's brilliant, don't get me wrong, but if you don't suffer from acne or your voice hasn't broken yet, then it's not the kind of car you want to be seen in. It's just embarrassing. I mean, just look at this thing. It's got scoops, vents, slashes all over the place. It looks like it was designed by a 12-year-old boy with ADD. A very talented 12-year-old boy with a bright future in automotive design, but a 12-year-old boy nonetheless. Honda say that none of these aggressive-looking extras have been bolted on just for the sake of it. And some of that I can believe. It's got a really cool-looking rear diffuser to smooth airflow from the rear, and that works in conjunction with this enormous rear wing to provide real downforce when you're traveling at speed. The front, meanwhile, has been designed in such a way as to help it cut through the air more effectively. Supposedly air comes in through the front and then leaves via these vents on the side. But if you look really closely, the holes in each of these vents are tiny. I just can't imagine that that makes any difference whatsoever to performance. Although I guess there's only one way to find out. Yeah, this car makes a lot more sense now. It doesn't take a lot of driving before you realize the Civic Type R makes way more sense on the open road than it does on the high street. Out here, it can really express itself away from prying eyes. The old Civic Type R had a bit of a cult following, really, and that was down to the fact that it used what they call VTEC technology in its engines, and that meant you really had to rev the pants off it to get the most out of it. This car is a very different animal. For this, Honda's developed a brand new 2-litre turbocharged engine. It doesn't quite rev as high. Instead of going to 9,000, it tops out at about 7.5, but it is up on power, way up. This engine's pushing out 306 brake horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque, and it'll do 0 to 62 in 5.7 seconds. Top speed, 167 miles per hour. This thing is an absolute animal. It hasn't lost all of the characteristics that it had with the original Type R. You can still rev the pants off it if you want to, and when you approach the red line on the dashboard, you get a series of lights that light up to let you know that you're pushing on a bit and it's time to change gear. There's two really interesting characteristics that you want to know about with the Type R. The first is turbo lag. There's a fair bit of delay before you get that torque and power when you accelerate. You get pretty much nothing between 0 and 3,000 RPM, but as soon as it hits that, all hell breaks loose and you get a massive surge. The second phenomenon that you probably want to know about is torque steer. The good news is there's virtually none in this car. Honda's installed some really fancy front suspension. So when you ask the car to steer and accelerate at the same time, which you do in a high-performance front-wheel drive hot hatch, you don't really get that sensation of the car trying to pull the steering wheel out of your hand. You accelerate and it goes. So this car's good in a straight line, but it's even better around the corners. I can't state that enough. It really is fantastic. The steering is so direct. You turn in and you can really be a sniper with your apexes. You just can't miss. And when you're mid-corner, it's so well balanced. There's no real body roll to speak of. There's a little bit of lean, but you know exactly what the car's about to do. There's no surprises. Then, unlike in most front-wheel drive cars, you can get on the power so early. It just scrabbles its way around and grips and goes. I'm not sure if I'm actually stating that heavily enough. I want to say to you guys that this car corners so well. I reckon I can go faster in this than I could in a Jaguar F-Type V6. It is that quick. Honda reckon this thing will lap the Nurburgring in under 8 minutes. And I believe every word of that, man. This thing is brutally quick in a straight line. and lightning quick around the bends. Special mention has got to go to the driving position. The seats in this car are absolutely epic. They keep you held in place, so there's no danger of rolling around. You can just drive fast and concentrate on what you're doing without getting thrown around. And then there are the pedals. The pedals are perfect. I reckon they're the best I've ever used in a car, and that's a serious comment. This car's got a lot of turbo lag, and what that means is when you approach a corner, you hit the brakes, which are amazing, by the way, Brembos, and then you lose all your revs, so you're not in that sweet spot to accelerate and get all the torque you want. But what you can do is brake as normal, then roll your foot onto the accelerator, blip the throttle, and that will raise the revs to the right position so you can exit the corner like a bat out of hell. Finally, the gear stick. Jaguar, this is how you make a manual stick. It's only available with a 6-speed manual, and that's a damn good thing. It is perfect. It feels like you're operating a rifle. It's precision. You can't miss your gears in this. It's just superb. Oh, and just when you think this car can't get any more insane, you just press this little +R button on the dashboard, and that makes it even more aggressive. It sharpens up the throttle response, makes the adaptive dampers stiffer by 30%, and just turns this thing into a complete maniac. The Honda Civic Type R is not the kind of car you'll want to be seen in necessarily. Certainly not unless you're happy with people judging you at every traffic light. But it's definitely a car you'll want to drive. It is unquestionably one of the most engaging, aggressive, and capable hot hatches ever built. Ever. It's a maniac in maniac's clothing that encourages you to drive aggressively and rewards you with a kind of performance that could shame many far more expensive sports cars. It is the very definition of a hot hatch, cranking the standard Civic up by a factor of 10 for some truly extreme and incredibly enjoyable driving thrills.